Hello, today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to answer some questions that I saw in the comment section on my YouTube page. Sometimes, some question needs answer, and some of my answers maybe need more clarification. So here we are. I just finished working. I'm going to do this from home because it's more comfortable for me, and I have multiple screens to record, so it's a little bit easier. You know me, I just do things on the fly sometimes. In the comment section, I'll just change the scene here. There you go. The first comment was Keith Peterson saying, I never thought to use the steak fat to fry the steak. I use the butter technique. When you cook a ribeye, there's a huge chunk of fat on it, and mostly nobody eats it. So usually what I do is I use it to oil the pan. If I'm gonna pan fry, I don't put oil in my pan too much. You can put a little, but you don't want your steak to be like a crisp crust outside. You want to sear it, just lock the juices tight inside. By the way, this is from how to cook a ribeye pan fried video. I'll put a link in the description. The butter can also work. The problem is that when you sear, you need your pan to be super hot. If you put butter in it, you're gonna burn the butter, and burnt butter is just not good to eat. So that's why I use that technique. Of course, in my restaurant, I don't pan fry. I use a grill, so I don't have this issue. But yeah, why not use the fat? It's there, and it's not gonna mess with the flavor of your steak. And the butter technique you use at the end when you take your steak out of the oven, or if you're finishing the pan. Again, in my restaurants, right, we use ovens to grill oven. We come back, and then we can put in a pan with some butter and butterize the steak. That way you can control what's going on a little bit better, the temperature of the steak. So thank you, Keith Peterson. SHS is the next one. I love all your cooking videos. Well, thank you very much. It's very nice of you. As a small restaurant owner and a cook who hasn't learned cooking professionally, I learned so much from you. Listen, trials and errors, right? The thing that you got to remember when you cook in a restaurant or you cook for people is you try to cook what tastes good to you. If you have a good palate, I think that you can't go wrong. And there's so much information on the internet as well. For example, if I want to do a cake, like a chocolate cake, right, I don't have a standard recipe anymore. I just go on the internet and I try a new cake, and then I find a good one, and that's going to be the cake of the day in the restaurant, for example, next to my carrot cake, of course, which is very famous. SH, oh, thanks, buddy. Looks so yummy. Luke Thomas, this comment comes from the pepperoni goes under the cheese of the pizza, and this is why. A little bit of controversy about this. In that video I explained that I put the pepperoni under the cheese because I like the when the sauce boils and the pepperoni boils under the cheese, I like the flavor that it gives to the pizza. If you put it on top, sometimes the pepperoni will dry a little bit and you're missing all the juices of it. So I will put also a link in the description for this. Dan Lawson, it says very good technique. We're talking about the ribeye again, the how to cook pan fry a steak. In a video I used, at the end of the video when I butterize the steak, right, usually I will use only butter, but this video was made because I'm in Asia and nobody has ovens here, and nobody really cooks steak at home. They go buy it outside. So my customers ask me how to cook a steak in the house. How can it be as good as in your restaurant? So in the video, I mix my butter with a little bit of water. The reason is pan control. Pan control is it's difficult. You need to learn it. You need experience. So what happens is that everything in my restaurant is cooked on the gas at maximum temperature. I don't play with the temperature. I don't go up. I don't go down. I move my pan around to control the heat, or I just remove the pan, slide it on the side to remove the heat, and or push the heat somewhere else. So newbies at this, like new people at this, they don't have pan control. They don't understand heat in the pan. So what they do, they put the pan on top, full blast, and then they put butter, and then they wonder why the butter burnt and their steak burnt. So what I did for this video with this in mind is that I added a little bit of water in the butter, so that way the butter doesn't burn. The water doesn't do anything. It's all going to evaporate because the pan is super hot, but it's just going to keep the butter alive for a longer time instead of having like burnt oil and burnt milk in your pan. So that's the reason why. Okay, so well, thank you, Dan Lawson. Jim, you're not old and fat. In the video Caramelized Onion, right? It's the only video I've ever made with swear words and insult and stuff like that. I just thought it'd be funny to make one like this. I said I'm old and fat. Basically, I dared in the comment section to insult me on my age and my fatness. So he says I'm not fat. So thank you, buddy. It's very nice of you. Again, on the ribeye steak video, link in the description, of course. He says, Asian Angler said, I skipped the garlic. No. I never put garlic in a pan with a steak. I don't think it tastes good. What I do usually is I'm gonna roast some garlic on the side in another pan with some butter, or I'm gonna roast it in the oven. That way you will slice like 1 millimeter, like a thin, like very thin, and then you're just gonna crisp it very hard, and then after that you can drop it on top of your steak if that's what you wish. I don't really put, besides salt and pepper, I don't really put seasoning on my steak. It's up to you, you know. I don't have the answer to everything. Where's your restaurant? Well, it's in Taiwan. Thank you, Liam C. Teddy, a few hearts. Thank you very much. Honest opinion, when you do this at home, be sure to open a window and remove the battery from your smoke detectors. I would never recommend taking out the batteries of your smoke detectors because you might forget to put them back in, and if something happens, you might die. So let's not go that way. I get a few comments like this. Exhaust fans, we all have one on top. That works, and if you need the air to move a little bit more, open a window, crack a window somewhere in the house. It makes like a stream of air through, so you know, air current, we would say. So yeah, don't take out the batteries from your smoke detector. The cool Manway Sian, I don't know how to say this, thank you. Gigi says I look like James Caviezel and Tom Hardy. Well, thank you very much. I don't think so. I'm just an old man turning 49 soon. Patrick Dickey, I thought everybody knew how to cook a steak like this. This is alright if you're just cooking one steak, but a little tough when you're cooking for 7 or 8. I answered this in the comment section. Basically, like I was saying before, I'm in Asia, nobody has ovens here. And my customers ask me how to cook a steak at home because when I got here like 20 years ago, steaks were not a big thing in this country. Here it was more like chicken and pork, and everything's cooked on fire, right? In a wok or on fire or on a grill, and nobody knew how to do it. So that video is quite old. I think it's like 12 years old now, and I made this video just for people to be able to cook a steak at home. So of course, in my restaurant, like I said before, I use ovens, I use grills, I use pans. I cook 30 steaks at the same time. You can't pan fry 30 steaks at the same time. So that's that. So that was the story of this. This video is how to cook a thick or fry a thick steak at home. It's not how to cook a thick steak in a restaurant, right? So that's that for that. Okay, we'll see. Nice, easy on the eyes, and good too. Thank you very much. Like I said before, that was a long time ago, this video. That's Danny. I answered this on the comment section. In the video, I said that the caramelized onion video, the one where I used explicit language, I said that I would cut the video somewhere in the middle, and I ended up not cutting it because I thought it's going to be too long, but it wasn't, and I was just having too much fun swearing. So the entire video was there. I think he had a little bit of a, he's saying like, I think you said the video was cut to reduce its length. So how long does it take to properly caramelize onions? Depends on the size, the amount of onions. Also depends on the size of your pan. If you go deep and a lot of onions on top, it's going to take a long time. If you go wide, it's going to take less time because there's more surface to caramelize the onions. It says 45 to 60 minutes for 3 pounds in a 13-inch pan. Well, that's pretty much it. It's a small 13 is it's big like this. It's not very big. And if you want to go faster, what you can do is just put less in the pan and then do it multiple times. So, and he says last time try higher heat to reduce the time, but they sucked and he threw them out. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Again, in a video I made caramelized onions. I'm always on maximum power, but if you look in the video, my pot is never staying there. I'm not mixing on top of the pot. And sorry, I'm just gonna camera. I'm not leaving it on the fire, not moving and moving stuff around. I'm always throwing my pot around, and I can see at the bottom of the pan, right, the caramelization makes your pan go brown. When you see it's getting brown there, then just move your pan a little bit and distribute the fire to another region of your pan. So that way, it's heat control, right? We go back to the water and the butter. Heat control is everything. It takes time, it takes practice. You can't just leave a pot on fire and just leave it like that. It's not proper technique. You need to learn how to distribute heat and know how much heat there is in each section of your pan. So thank you, Danny. I think I gave you a better, fuller explanation here in the description. Oh, well, he answered back. Thanks for the detail. Beverly Schmidt, looks yummy. Thank you very much. That was the pan-fried steak again. And Ambrose Joseph, looks amazing. Caramelized onion, thank you very much. And he also says the French are genius at cooking. Yes, they are. They really are. That's what I've learned. That was my base when I learned cooking. I think if you can cook French, you can cook anything. The rest is just palate and experience and maybe new ideas. Ambrose again says, I like when you swear. Yeah, X onion. I won't swear in this video. I usually don't. I don't even swear in my daily life. He says Julia's laughing overhead. I guess that's his girlfriend. You see the. I didn't read these yet. So some I did, some I didn't. So I'm not sure what's coming next. Here, UCDBNXT. I had to cook ribeye for 10, and sous vide was the way to fly. I guess couldn't believe how great they taste. And all the same doneness. Yeah, it's a good way to do it at home. Like I know some restaurants do sous vide. I have nothing against sous vide. It's just more prep, and it's not time efficient for me. If you can control what you're doing, it doesn't work for me in a restaurant. I can't do 30 sous vide. It's just, it takes more employees, it takes more time, it takes more prep. It doesn't make any sense for in my business. I'm not saying for other business, but yeah, if you're home and you gotta do sous vide, but at the end you still have to sear it. So just maybe the searing part was very fast. Maybe once the sous vide is done and your pan is super hot, you just drop butter in it and you sear. Next steak, clean your pan, sear, and then maybe you can get like 10 steaks out in 10 minutes. Maybe that's what he's trying to say. I'll just give you a big heart for this, by the way. Robin Shepherd says, appreciate it. That's pan-fried steak again. You can see it here, which video we're in. It's my most famous video, so most of my comments are there. Mercy C. I was a vegetarian until almost the age of 50. My oldest daughter got me to buy and try steak. I had no idea how to cook it. Pulled my cookbook before Christ and said to use high heat and sear, add butter and baste. Yeah, that's pretty much it, depending on the thickness of your steak, right? If you have like a 1 centimeter, that works perfect. If you have a thick steak, it's a different story. Or watch the video to make sure. I've been meaning eat meat or red meat since that day. Well, thank you to my oldest daughter. She loved for asking me to try. Hey, I've got nothing against vegetarian. I eat a lot of vegetables and fruits too. I eat a steak a day, but usually lunch I don't eat meat. I eat like salads and stuff like that, so it's fine. Joji, this was so informative. Grazie Kido. Yeah, thank you, buddy. That's a series of video I made here. Why do chefs drinks? They were like 30 seconds video because chefs have a reputation to be drunk, and pretty much I was trying to explain why they drink because of the stupid question from a customer, or some stupid stuff happens in the restaurant, or a refrigerator is broken and then you need to spend $1,000 to fix it. So, and then he says all chefs drink so their food can taste better. I don't drink really. I sample a lot. In other videos that you might have seen, my restaurant is like 400 bottles of scotch. I've got total like 600 bottles of liquor in my restaurant. I sample stuff. I try recipe and I try whiskey because I try to know what I'm selling. I want my customers to have a good time. So, for example, if somebody never drank scotch before, I'm gonna ask them like a question: do you like something smoky or not? Do you like something sweet? Do you like something more caramelly? Whiskey is large, right? There's lots of stuff, and then I try to find the best bottle, the best liquid for them to have a great experience. And actually, it works. Knowledge is never wasted. Okay, next one, Gerald Goldsby. This is great. I preheated my oven at 500, seasoned the steak, pan fried in a cast iron for 1 minute on each side. That's perfect. Put butter in it and put the other put it in the oven for 5 minutes, comes out perfect. I would agree with this, except for the butter. I think the butter should have gone after you took it out of the oven. Then again, it's just 5 minutes. But if your pan is super hot, your butter is gonna burn. So, yeah. And 7 Peralta answered him. I do this as well, but I leave the steak in the oven till 130 degrees. Rest the steak 5 minutes. Comes out perfect every time. That's the way to go. Rest your steak a little bit. You can't go wrong with that. All the juices get trapped inside, and you'll see their steak. If you get a fillet, especially because they're thicker cuts, right, it's going to balloon a little bit. Just one thing I want to make clear, right? If you got a 1 centimeter thick steak and you're going to rest it, you're just wasting time. There's nothing left in there. It's not thick enough to have a good quality steak. I eat 1 centimeter thick like sometimes because that's the taste I want, but it's not what I would sell to a customer. I also don't sell well done. Oh, this is I think advertisement for porn. Excellent. Thank you, Tony Almeida. Talk to Germ. Somehow I can smell this to the screen. Well, thanks. Oh, that's another video, just a bowl of pasta. I love pasta, so there you go. I guess this is another porn stuff. Sorry about that. Ambrose Joseph. He always says hello. Love your cooking videos. Well, thank you very much. Yeah. This video was the glory of owning restaurants. Things you should know about restaurants before opening. I'll put a link in the description as well. A lot of people ask me, how to open a restaurant, so I made a video for this. Well, a series actually. Great short video. Thank you for your time and eye-opening. Could you please message me at your best convenience? What do I need to take in consideration when first opening a restaurant for the first time? All in one department, bills, blah blah blah. Yeah, I could make a video on this again. I think I did one, but anyway. Yeah, opening a restaurant is no joke. Pretty much going to take all your money, all your borrowed money. It's your first restaurant. It's probably going to take your family's money too, and you got to be ready to lose it all. So I think in one of the videos I explained this, how to get the money. I'm not sure I would have to go back, but yeah, get ready to lose everything. I've opened 16 restaurants in my life. When you go into a business like this, first of all, I never borrowed money. I saved money for my first one. My first restaurant was hot dog and burgers. It was very simple, and I made money there, saved money to open another one, so I never had to borrow money. And when I go into a new business, for me that money is always gone, already gone. I never think, I need to make this to take back my money. So I don't put stress on me. I don't put pressure on me. I just go like, that money's gone. So every day when the money comes in, right, that's my money. Well, I need to pay my bills and everything, but I don't think about a loan. So yeah, I should make a good video on this to explain this a little bit better. Bob Bridges. Oh yeah, I made a few, in a restaurant, you play music. You got to make sure it's good music for your customers. Usually in my restaurant, I play music that are good for the restaurant, not music that I want to hear. I happen to like a lot of jazz, a lot of lounge music, so it's perfect for the restaurant. You can't play Metallica in your restaurant. So I made a few musical record review and stuff like that to help people, give them like a track on what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. Archangelo, that's the ribeye steak video again. I use your techniques. Genius, by the way. Well, thank you very much, sir. Or lady, I'm not sure. And it came out perfect, mid-rare. Guys, this works. Don't hesitate for a second. Well, I'm happy to help, buddy. If it worked for you, this is great. T.E. This is owning a restaurant. In that series again, can you do it all yourself? Should watch this if you want to open a restaurant. He says, could you help me? I'm in the US and I'd love to open a vegan restaurant and operate it myself, but I need a good team and interchangeable menu. The vegan industry is totally unsaturated in my area, and I know if I do it the right way, it could be extremely profitable. If you have any tips or advice, I'd love to chat with you. I don't know how to chat. I don't have Twitter. I just couldn't care less. I think it's a cesspool, so I don't use it. Yeah, vegan restaurant. I should make a complete video on this. The problem with a vegan restaurant, right, is that if you eat meat, you're not going there. So basically, you eliminate a good portion of your customer base. I'm not a vegan. I eat vegan sometimes. I have no issues with it, but especially, I don't know where you are. You're in the US. You'd have to be in a city where San Fran or I don't know. It's a good question. I think my camera's flipping here a little bit. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's because you're eliminating a lot of customers to start with. So unless you're like in I would have to think about this. I can't really answer you on this one. I'll get back to you on this. Yeah. Gordon Ramsay video. I just made something funny with that. These are speakerphone in public. There's still people using speakerphone in restaurants. Mr. Nuts 123. I made a video about it. How dare you? How dare you use a speakerphone in public? I don't even have it. I have a Samsung phone for the last 5 years. I think it's a Note 9. I don't even know what it sounds like. I've never heard the tone bell of it. I don't understand people that. Anyway, I don't want to. The rent is there. Speakerphone in public. Go see it. And this is a ribeye steak. Looks amazing. My pan-fried didn't turn out, but now I'll try. Also, meaning you tried before, but it didn't work out for you, so you try this now. I use a cast iron pan. I don't know who this guy is, but I love his methods here. Well, thank you very much. It's universal method. I didn't use cast. A lot of people have comments here. They say, "Oh, cast iron's better. Cast iron's better." If your pan is hot, your pan's hot, dude. It doesn't get more hot because it's cast iron. Then you're gonna say, "Yeah, but the heat is evenly distributed through the pan." Sure, but then again, if your fire is big like this, yeah, this is my burner, right? It's big like this, and my pan is big like this. Really. So anyway, it's just useful to drop in the oven. But then again, cast iron, I think it's a lot of work for. Hey, if you love it, do it. It's fine. I think it's overrated, but if it works for you, it's great. I mean, if you're like on a wood fire camping, then perfect, because the fire is uneven and the heat is not constant. But when you have a gas burner, the heat is constant. You have temperature control. So let's do one more. Junie 40, great listening to you, man. Oh, this video was tired of your job, planning to open a restaurant. Buying a closed restaurant might be a good idea, something like that. Check in the video section. Great listening to you, man. I'm curious to see if you can shed some light to me about buying out 2 partners that I've worked close with for up to 6 years. And it's a restaurant business. I know how to function the business to create revenues. I'm just curious if you have any advice on buying out partners when you're short of money and avoiding investors. 20 years old and with a good credit score. I don't have any liabilities to worry, and the business doesn't need any investment to start it up, and it's still running today. Good idea. Well, if it's making money, sure, buy them out if you have the money for it. And the other question is, do they want to sell? I had to buy a partner art one time, and I also had to sell to a partner one time, and not because I had to, as I chose to, because having partners is like being married or having a girlfriend. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It is kind of like that. So yeah, if you can afford it, do it. If the business is making money, it's a good idea. Yeah, so anyway, that's that for today. If you have any questions or suggestions or comments, leave them in the comment section. And if you're not insulting me or using curse word, then I'll read your comments. For people who swear at me, I don't mind people disagreeing with my recipe. I don't mind with people saying, you're not good. For me, it's just the insult and the swears. They just don't have any place in my life. So usually those comments, I just delete them and I ban the person. Free speech on your page, free speech not on my page. So anyway, that's that for today. Catch you later. I'll probably do it again next week if there are enough comments. So catch you next week. Bye bye.